Howdy folks, welcome to Let's Play Kerbal Space Program. This is Durka13, and this is going to be the first episode of this series. So, we are playing on version 1.2.2.1622. It's the newest version, it's not a development build or anything like that. But I have just been dying to play this. I've been playing it in my off time. So now I want to bring back a Let's Play of it. It was one of my more successful ones before. Successful being like 30 views a video, but hey, you know, you get the people what they want. So, let's start a new game. Start new, and we're gonna call it Durka. We'll call it Durka Rules. Hey, there we go. And career. Let's see, change our flag. Let's see. What kind of flag do we want? Let's do... I know. This is what I really spend the time on. Screw it. Let's do the Kerbal one. There we go. Difficulty options. We'll just leave it on normal. Let's see. Do I want to change anything? No, not really. Big changes in, I think it was 1.2, comm network, which we will talk about. So essentially, we can't send a probe up that doesn't have the proper antenna to reach back to Kerbin. Otherwise, we can't control it. So we'll get to it, though. All right, let's start a new game. Oh, I'm pumped for this. I gotta turn the music back up, because for some reason I had the music of 1%, and it was still super loud. Welcome to the Space Center. Thank you, Gene. It's nice to be back. So, number 1. Let me turn that music back on. Turn it on 1%. There we go. Okay, so this is your Space Center. This is the Kerbal Space Center. Quick overview. This is the launch pad, the tracking station, where you can like check in on ships you have in orbit or wherever. This is the research and development facility where we unlock new things. The astronaut complex, admin building. The admin building, you could start like plans to get you more science or more cash, whatever. Spaceplane hangar, mission control. Mission control is where you get your missions. And actually, let's go grab a couple. So, first mission, gather some scientific data from Kerbin. Hells yeah, we're going to do that. And we're going to launch our first vessel as well. You can see we can only take 2 contracts at a time right now. As we upgrade this building, we can do more. But let's go into the VAB, or the Vehicle Assembly Building. This is where we actually build our rockets. So, let's build our first rocket. It will be a Mark 1 command pod. There we go. And I'm going to try to speed through this early stuff as quickly as I can for you all. Toss parachute up there. Let's see, what science do we have? Oh, it's worth noting, too, I'm only running MacLeod and Kerbal Alarm Clock right now. I'll probably add more mods as time goes on, but for now, I think that's A-okay. And we only have the 1 engine. There we go. Over here, we have your stages. Stages are, you know, stage 0, launch the engines. Stage 1, launch the engines. Stage 2, launch the parachute. And then you can see we also have over here our sciencey bits. This is a goo canister, which it takes experimental data from the surrounding area. And we're just going to call this Hopper 1. Before we do launch that, actually no, can't. Barely have any money, do we? Alright, so everyone uses Jeb. I'm going to use Valentina. So, Valentina will be our first Kerbal Kerbonaut. There we go. Alright, anywho, let's launch this sucker. Now, it's only got the 1 engine on there. It's an SRB, which is a solid rocket booster. So it's not going to go very high. Alright, so this is our launch pad. It's a shitty launch pad, as you can see. You can see like debris from blown up rockets from days old. So, you're going to hit T, and that turns on stability assist. That means the rocket is going to stay as steady as it can. And We could bring up or down the throttle. It doesn't really matter because SRBs don't have control over the throttle. But let's go ahead and hit space. Oh, that was loud. And let me turn down some of the sound here a little bit. There we go. Apply, accept, resume. There we go. That's better. We also forgot to take the mystery goo from the launch pad. That's fine. We'll take it flying. And the goo jiggles and wobbles as the craft flies. Great. Let's keep that experiment on us. If we had an antenna, we can actually send the data back to the Space Center, which we don't. So, what goes up must come down. And we are about to start falling. There we go. We are now falling. Really, I'm just going to let us drop until we're about 5K, and then I'll open the chute, just because staring at a ship falling through the sky is pretty boring. So, come on. We are picking up a little bit of speed. We will bottom out. No, not bottom out. That's kind of a poor way to say that. Alright, let's just launch this now. My washing machine just finished, and now it's singing to me. Alright. The parachute's going to fully deploy. You'll see it open up at 1,000 meters above the surface. And here it comes, almost there. There we go. And that will slow us down dramatically. And we're going to miss the launch pad. Damn. So we didn't go perfectly straight. Oh well. Up here, you have your time control. So let's warp. Actually, this is physics warping, not time warping. But until we get a bit closer to the ground, then we'll stop it. Just again, don't want you guys to sit here and watch this boring crap. There we go. We've landed back on the ground. Let's do our other mystery goo so I don't forget. Awesome. Take it. And Valentina, we can have her EVA. And she can take an EVA report. Awesome. She can get back in and also take a crew report. Alright, let's recover the vessel. That will give us any of our money back on parts that aren't broken, and it'll also give us our science. We earned almost 19 science there. And we recovered $2,700. We also completed both of our contracts, I think. We did. Awesome. So, what's our next contract? Escape the atmosphere. And I guess we could do orbit Kerbal. Might be a couple minutes before we can actually do that. Let's go ahead and go to the research facility and unlock some stuff. Basic rocketry unlocked. Engineering 101. And we don't have enough for this next part. And let's build the Hopper Mark II. Hopper Mark II. Which is going to be almost essentially the exact same thing, with a couple more pieces thrown on it. Like this thermometer. Put two thermometers on here. Coupling. Oh, we do have a radial decoupler, not a radial, a decoupler now. So that means when we hit the right stage, this will blow off and we'll dump everything under us. So we'll actually only be coming back to the ground with this. There we go. And we have some fuel tanks. We have another engine. Cool. We can put an antenna on here, although there's not really a point doing it right now, so Alright, let's put some of these liquid fuel tanks on here. These are liquid compared to the SRB we used earlier. And with this, we should pretty easily escape the atmosphere, I think. Put the swivel engine up there. Yeah. And then underneath, we'll put another decoupler. And an SRB. The bigger SRB. Alright, so we'll put those together. Alright, and I think we're ready to launch. Let's see. if we can escape the atmosphere with this guy. Do we have Valentina in here? We do. Save and launch. Look at this. 10 minutes in, and we're already launching our second vessel, hoping to escape the atmosphere. You know what? Before we do that, I just want to check something. Because we're going to have very little control on this command pod. These aren't actually even, are they? That's probably driving somebody crazy. My apologies. What is X? There we go. We're not going to have much control with this command pod. It does give you some control authority. Not much, though. So let's put a couple of fins on here. Put 4. How about that? There we go. That's better. Now we'll save and launch. So, T for SAS or control. And then I'm going to bring the throttle all the way up. Again, we're starting with an SRB, so throttle doesn't matter. But when we do drop the SRB and go to our liquid fuel, we can control that. Let's actually get rid of these too. So we completed getting scientific data from Kerbal. Great. Blah, blah, blah. Launched our first vessel. And we did a bunch of this stuff. Speed records and altitude records, all that. And we're about to break some more. Is there anything we have to do right now? We need to do the temperature data. There we go. And it was from the launch pad before, right? It was. Okay. Let's launch. Now, we're going to go up, and I am just going to encourage it to tilt over a little bit so we actually get some distance from the Space Center. It's not going to tip over much. And we're going to burn through this SRB really quick. There it is. There we go. Space to drop the SRB, and now we're on liquid fuel. It wants to tip over. No. Can we salvage it? We're going to salvage it. Wow. I didn't think we would salvage that. And we're just going to keep going up and up. Hopefully we will break the threshold of space. We shall see. Alright. Now if you hit an M, it opens up your global view. And you can see that we have an apoapsis. For those of you who don't know, an apoapsis is the highest point in your orbit. The periapsis is the lowest point. We don't have a periapsis right now because it's just, we're suborbital. So we're going to go about 124,000 meters up. Great. And we're going really fast, actually. Hopefully we can slow down enough. I'm not actually sure we will. As we're going to be going like straight down. It's kind of, we'll see what happens. We might lose Valentina. I have faith in her, though. And we're above 70,000 meters, which is the threshold for space. Let's do these experiments. Another mystery goo in space near Kerbal. 10 science. We're going to do temperature. That's great. We're going to do a crew report. 5. And we unfortunately can't do an EVA here, which kind of sucks, but oh well. Now, I am going to tip us over a little bit, and then I'm going to launch this fuel tank off into nothingness. There we go. And you could see, let me move my capsule from it, this little circle with the X in it, that is retrograde. Retrograde essentially means that you are putting your butt into the air. So it's kind of hard to tell right now, but once we actually start going down, there we go, like now, you can see our butt is into the wind. So this bottom section of the capsule here, that's going to be what is hitting the air first and slowing us down the most. And let's fast forward. It will unwarp us as soon as we hit the atmosphere. There we go. And let's go ahead and go back into, actually, it looks like we're going to have a water landing here. Which I'm cool with. That's some more science for us. Let's see. Yep, there's the Space Center. We didn't go very far, but we went pretty high up. Let's see. We escaped the atmosphere. Hooray! And it just gave us an ass ton of money for doing all this stuff. Yeah, we're going straight down. That is not ideal. Usually you want to be going kind of diagonally because that gives you more time to spend hitting the air. When you go straight down like that, you have less time for the air to hit your capsule and slow you down. But when you go diagonally like that, you have much more time. But we did slow down enough that we can use our parachute. You can see that it is safe to deploy. You can also tell over here, it'll stay like this, it'll turn yellow for, you probably shouldn't, and then red. Red for, nah, don't do that. That's a bad idea there, Chief. We could turn off our SAS control because we're just floating down. And let's speed up some time. I probably could have gone a little longer. There we go. We'll let it warp us down to, I don't know, like 75 meters. And then we'll get a little more science and recover this vessel. God, I love this game. I'm so happy to be playing this, and especially making videos for it. I'm so pumped. Like I said, I'm probably going to be adding more mods here and there. Right now, it's only MacLeod and Kerbal alarm clock. Oops, sorry, hit my mic there. And we have touchdown. I'm going to tip us over. Like, it's not going to let me tip it over. Oh, well. Let's do the mystery goo. Kerbin's water. We could do an EVA report. There we go. And while we're getting the EVA report, I'm actually going to grab some of this temperature data because we only brought 2 thermometers. But if we take this data, then we can do it again once we get back in. We're also going to take data, which is the crew report. For some reason, you can only have 1 crew report in there at a time. But when you take it, you kind of like store it in your spacesuit or however you want to look at it. But only 1 can be stored in the capsule like that. So we're back in. Let's log temperature data. And we'll do another crew report. All right, there it is. All right. Let's recover this vessel. Gives us even more science. So we can unlock that next tier of rocketry. Sorry, I had to take a sip of something. Look at that. That gave us 45 science. That's fantastic. So, R&D, what do you got for me? We're going to take general rocketry because, hells yes, bigger rockets. We're also going to take survivability. And we can get one of these, or we can get one of these. I think we're going to get survivability. Or stability, I'm sorry. Oh, it's only 18, really? Okay, so we have some research. There's some science in the bank. That's great. So I think we're kind of set now that we can maybe consider trying to build an orbiter. So, let's not load. Let's build a new ship. As always, we'll start with the command pod. And we're going to call this one Orbit Mark 1. We'll see if it actually works. I'm pretty sure we can get it up there. We'll find out. So, let's put the parachute up there first. Never want to forget your parachute. That would suck. Now, since we're going to be going further and higher, well, I don't know about higher, but further, we're going to put a heat shield in here. And what a heat shield does is it just adds another layer to your bottom of your capsule there, so it doesn't burn up as quickly. Okay. We're going to toss some science up in here. We really don't need the mystery goo, so I'm just going to kind of throw it on the back here. Yeah, I mean, it's there, but we already got it from space, and just because you orbit doesn't mean you're going to get more science out of it. But we can squeeze a couple bits out of it just by getting it again. So that's what we're going to return home with. Let's go ahead and put a decoupler on you. There we go. And let's put some fuel tanks up here. At 100 for good measure. Let's see. We're going to want the swivel. The swivel gives you more maneuverability. The engine actually swivels, and then it points in the direction you want it to, so you can control the ship better. And we do have a part limit here, 30 parts and a weight limit. You can see right there, parts 11 out of 30, weight 5.6 out of 18 tons. So we do have to kind of abide by that, but I think we'll be okay for this. And we'll go ahead and throw some more liquid fuel down here. This is probably like incredibly overkilled. There we go. And to give it even more of a punch, we're going to put some SRBs on the sides. This is a radial decoupler, the exact same thing as this kind of decoupler, but just it's attached to the side. Radial decoupler. Easy peasy. And we'll put some thumpers up here. Do we have... We don't. Let's go ahead and put some more fins up here. Give us a little more maneuverability. It's especially going to suck when we launch with these. Oh, and we are far, 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 far over our weight limit. So, what are we going to do about that? We are going to upgrade our launch pad. So you can see we have 276,000 Kerbal euros, dollars, whatever. So if you right click on your launch pad, for 50K, we can upgrade it. There we go. Let's go back to our orbiter. Make sure Valentina's in the pilot seat. Jeb is trying to sneak in there. Jeb, of course, is the most famous Kerbal pilot of all time, but we don't want him on this mission. All right, folks. What do you think? Well, you're going to find out next time on Let's Play Kerbal Space Program, episode number 2. If you like this, please make sure to hit that like button for me and expect many more Kerbal videos, so please hit subscribe. It justifies me playing video games to my wife, and I get to say, haha, I told you so. And don't do anything I wouldn't do. Bye-bye, folks.